Snail Games enters the console wars. Free-to-play gaming is found extremely profitable on consoles. Zombie Studios closes their doors. All that and more. I'm Zach Sharps, and this is Free-to-Play Weekly. In a producer letter this week, Turbine laid out its 2015 plans for its free-to-play MMORPG Dungeons & Dragons. Featured in this producer letter was highlights of last year's implementations as well as what they're currently working on for 2015. For 2015, Turbine plans to increase DDO's level cap to level 30, bring forth the Warlock class into the mix, mysterious fragments that will drop from monster champions, the classic dungeon reimagined called the Temple of Elemental Evil, plus a new storyline and adventure pack that will take players to Shavarath in the Vales of Twilight. Overall, since this is only a glimpse into what 2015 is going to look like for Dungeons & Dragons Online, it does look like DDO fans are going to have a lot to do this year in their favorite MMORPG. The owners of Zombie Studios, the developers of the fast-paced first-person shooter Blacklight Retribution, announced they'll be retiring and shutting down the company. This Wednesday evening, they posted a goodbye letter talking about their experience over the past 20 years in the company's lifespan, a thank you to fans of Zombie Studios, and also announced that the company, BuilderBox Games, who was mostly comprised of past Zombie employees, had acquired some of the work left behind by the shutdown, including the free-to-play shooter. It's not clear what BuilderBox Games has planned for 2015 in terms of content, but it's great to see that a company that has experience with Blacklight Retribution picked it up to continue its distribution to current fans of the game and also future fans. If there's any news about future content for Blacklight, we will certainly let you know. With Dungeons & Dragons Online getting some love this week, it's not surprising that Lord of the Rings Online got some producer letter love thrown its way this week as well. Featured in their plans for 2015 are the following: Legendary Items Rework, which will allow players to imbue level 100 legendary items so that they can continue to gain experience and no longer need to be deconstructed to advance. New Fellowship changes that include new group content such as dungeons, the squashing of the most persistent bugs in Lord of the Rings Online, new episodic content, server population reworks to allow everyone onto the more popular servers, which will make finding parties and festival events more lively, plus player vs. monster player implementations that are currently in serious investigations by the development team. Overall, just like with Dungeons & Dragons Online, it does look like to me that Turbine is hard at work this year continuing to keep their games fresh for current players, which honestly is quite exciting, and I'll be hopping back in the Lotro for the Lord of the Rings nostalgia since I just got done watching the new Hobbit movie. How about you? Do these 2015 plans have you excited for Turbine games? With more and more free-to-play titles hitting the next-gen consoles, we now have a progress report, if you will, regarding how well free-to-play monetization is working for the console market. In a recent interview by John Smedley, the president of Sony Online Entertainment, he spoke out about the successes and challenges when taking a free-to-play game to the console market. He stated the following: the PS4 has been monetizing amazingly well, between 3 and 3.5 times the monetization rate of the PC. Seeing that kind of difference in pay rate between the PC and PS4 is really astounding. It shows that there's a real market there. This monetization, he mentions, is coming from the already ported DC Universe Online, and he stated that on the PS3, DCUO is monetizing at twice the rate of the PC players. Smedley also stated in regards to if the free-to-play console boom will collapse like social games collapse because most of them weren't even games at all. They were just monetization vehicles. All I gotta say to that is shots fired. During CES 2015, Snail Games announced plans to enter the hardware market with the introduction of a pair of gaming smartphones. The W, yes, just the letter W, has dual joysticks and physical buttons within its design. Its partner, the W3D, will offer a 3D gaming experience on a 5.5-inch HD screen without the need for glasses. Both phones are expected to come preloaded with 30 of Snail Games' free-to-play titles and are fully functional Android-based devices. Also introduced at CES was Snail Games' official gaming console called the O-Box. The O-Box, from what Snail Games says, is also an Android-based device, but uses an adapted operating system that provides users with access to a wide range of games and applications. It also features 3D capabilities for 3D compatible TVs, supports PC game porting, and includes a dual joystick controller while integrating a new air mouse control system for motion sensor pointing and controls. The system sounds very interesting if you ask me. It looks pretty neat too. However, what I find more intriguing is that Snail decided to enter the console wars. With that said, I want to drop the question of the week. Last week on the show, I asked whether or not WildStar and The Elder Scrolls Online will go free to play in 2015. Many of you replied, one of which, a user by the name of Imstar, stated the following: both games would benefit from the free to play markets, along with holding events with monthly updates to keep the game fresh and enticing. Putting only cosmetic items, pets, and mounts for the cash shop will definitely make their games profitable. I know having pets for a first-person game isn't ideal, but if implemented, players will be intrigued and buy them. So to answer this, I think eventually both games will go free to play, but for 2015, I think it's just too soon. So neither for 2015. Thanks for your reply, Imstar, and if you want your comment possibly featured in next week's episode, make sure to leave a comment down below. That being said, this week's question is, with Snail Games entering the console wars and Sony Online Entertainment's John Smedley showing that free-to-play is profitable on consoles, do you see any other free-to-play company entering the console market? Or do you think that Snail will be the only free-to-play developer entering the market this generation? I'm looking forward to reading your guys' replies because honestly I'm torn on this subject. I see that the Xbox One and PS4 may be doing wonderful things in the realm of free-to-play, but I don't think adding more consoles to the market will end up being profitable. I honestly only see it working for Snail because they have ties to the Chinese market, and as we all know, China's population is massive. So at the right price, their console could possibly take off. Speaking of console free-to-play games and SOE's John Smedley, eager PlanetSide 2 players looking to engage in massive-scale combat on the PS4 got great news this week. Announced on the PlayStation blog, PlanetSide 2's PS4 closed beta kicks off on January the 20th. It's unclear how much they changed the original game due to it now having to be on consoles, but since the long-awaited closed beta is coming around, we will get to see why it's been delayed a few times for further tweaks they say were needed. If you still haven't signed up for the closed beta, there still is time to sign up on the official PlanetSide 2 website. Fans of hardcore, full loot, crafting-based games will get another crack at Albion Online this month. According to Sandbox Interactive, the open-world Sandbox title will start its winter beta event on January the 26th. Access to it is limited to founders, of course, with prices ranging from $30 to $100, but the game will be free to play on launch. Considering their roadmap released a couple months ago, I can only assume that the winter beta event will roll out with some new and expanded on features, so for those of you anticipating the launch of Albion Online, you might want to head on over to their website and check it out. Everyone appreciates a great comeback story, right? I know that City of Heroes fans would appreciate one if only their game got to rise to see another day, but interestingly enough, Wizardry Online is the one that looks to be rising from the ashes of permadeath. According to Suba Games, Wizardry Online's developers taking player feedback seriously, and they stated this week that they are interested in reviving the hardcore MMORPG, but have yet to conclude an outcome just yet. I wasn't personally a fan of this hardcore game, which for me is really odd because I like permadeath, full loot systems, the works, but it's great to see MMOs come back from the dead now and again, especially if there was a cult following originally keeping the game alive. If there's more details on Wizardry Online's resurrection, I will definitely let you know. Well guys, that is it for the news portion of Free to Play Weekly, although I did want to let you guys know really quickly that we're pumping out giveaways like mad on MMOBomb.com. So make sure to head on over there, sign up for alerts, bookmark the page, and check back frequently so you'll never miss one. That being said, my name is Zach Sharp, signing off until next week's Free to Play Weekly. I will catch you guys next time.